how do you describe the approach to programmatic TV at GroupM? What are some basic tenets, basic philosophies, and also some operational details?
Yeah, that's a great question. CTV has been going through a very interesting time, especially during the current events caused by COVID-19. We are seeing some favorable conditions for CTV activation via programmatic pipes. I believe that the current conditions are going to be quite favorable in shaping the future of TV. During this time, we have seen some great enhancements that are being offered by both the SSPs, DSPs, and the publishers. So we have been working very closely with our DSP partners and have been very vocal about our needs and challenges when it comes to programmatic CTV activation. And the good news is that they have listened to our concerns and have built some tools and products that are facilitating the programmatic activation of CTV media, be it a reach and frequency reporting that they are provided as a turnkey solution, the ability to forecast inventory based on an audience, as well as they enrich the data partnerships they have in place. So they offer insights into audiences in a much deeper level, the ACR integrations, and obviously the ideal spaces that where they can ingest TV schedules. So we as a buyer have the holistic view into where a client's audiences are interacting and how they are interacting with the media. On the DSP and on the SSP end as well, we are seeing some great developments when it comes to the product. So they've been helping the publishers a lot how to yield manage their CTV inventory programmatically. Traditionally, there were major challenges in how to yield manage an ad pod, and we are seeing a lot of the SSPs have really focused on the product and technology side and almost enable publishers to yield manage on an ad pod basis, managing the competitive advertising on an ad pod, reach and frequency. So that is also ultimately increasing the scale that we are accessing via our DSPs. On the publisher fronts, we are seeing our largest publishers embracing programmatic more and more, especially this year, given the influx of inventory that is happening, or the increased streaming using CTVs is quite a significant importance for these publishers. So a lot of our largest publishers are offering unified access to their OTT inventory, which is facilitated by the so-called new header bidding technologies that SSPs have started introducing. From GroupM perspective, so as I said, we are interested in a holistic view of a client's campaign. So we are interested in how a client's audience interacts with different media using different devices. So from our perspective, it's really important to understand what the audience is doing on a TV versus CTV in a deduplicated way. So when we start planning a CTV campaign, it's important for us to start from what a client's KPIs is, what goals they want to achieve. And then we work very closely with our publisher partners to really understand how we can activate the inventory in a way that is still achieving client KPI. So we use direct IO where it makes sense. We activate through PG or PMP. It's all depending on the client's KPI as well as how the publisher is packaging their inventory for us to access. So we are pretty much on top of every single publisher's inventory and how they offer that inventory to us, be it direct IO, programmatic. So it's all about understanding how to achieve the KPI of a client.
So it sounds like a lot of progress. What other developments would you like to see that you would wish for, either from the DSP side or from the SSP side or data providers? We've also talked about problems around verification and fraud. So what other issues do you think should be solved?
Yeah, I think fraud has always been an issue, regardless of which media you buy, and fraudsters are obviously eyeing the higher yielding placements. So, from that perspective, we have always offered guidance to our teams to buy inventory as direct as possible. So, from that perspective, we don't see fraud as an issue for us because we buy media direct from our publishers, be it on a direct IO within the programmatic world. It's all based on deal IDs. We don't have any activity within the open exchange just because of the reasons that you just alluded to. When it comes to other challenges, so we would love to see a standardization of measurements in general within the CTV space. We know that a household can access content through various different ways. I think there are 11 different types of devices that they can access content, be it the smart TVs, the likes of Sony, Vizio, LG. On the other side, you have the likes of consoles, gaming consoles, PlayStation, Nintendo. And on the other side, you also have the sticks and devices, the likes of Roku or Amazon Fire and Chromecast. And all these devices are coming with their own operating systems. How they count impressions is different. How they log data is different. So it's a quite fragmented, data fragmented space that really requires some sort of standardization. So we as a buyer can capture what the audiences are doing across all different devices. So that's one of the issues that probably everyone is addressing at the moment. The other one I would say is the lack of reliable viewership ratings and data. So majority of our clients are seeing CTV as an extension to TV, and the currency of the CTV buy is still based on age and gender guarantees using Nielsen digital ad ratings, right? So if a client wants to get audience guarantees, it's very difficult to activate that programmatically because of the limitations on the DSP side. So you are paying for every single impression that you buy. So it's not possible currently to activate a programmatic CTV buy if you are looking for an audience guarantee. So the third challenge I'm seeing is the lack of transparency when you buy programmatically. A lot of the content distributors are not offering full transparency when it comes to where the ads are running, on which shows they are running due to privacy issues, carriage agreements they have with the content owners. So that's one of the challenges that are currently limiting our ability to activate programmatically fully. But obviously, as I said, we have been very vocal about these challenges with our publisher partners, SSPs and DSPs, and really hoping that we will come to a place where all parties understand the challenges and work on products and developments that is going to enable us to easily transact CTV inventory based on our clients' requirements.
So Esra, we spoke a little bit earlier about header bidding, the opportunity and sort of the value of that, how it might develop and what the need is for it in CTV.
Yeah, so the development of header bidding-like solution within CTV was pretty much expected by all the parties in the industry. And the challenge was the fragmentation of different CTV inventory types, be it live events or FAP content and OTT content. And majority of the publishers within CTV has been using the traditional waterfall yield management structure, as many ad servers don't have the programmatic capabilities of offering the inventory to demand partners to bid on simultaneously. So hopefully the header bidding technologies, or the so-called header bidding technologies, are going to enable publishers to yield manage equally and flatten the waterfall that they have. It should also enable them to manage reach and frequency, the competitive ad bot management, etc. So from our perspective, obviously it will increase the scale and the amount of impressions we can access. The DSPs are becoming a key part of how we are planning programmatic CTV inventory, the forecasting of inventory based on certain audiences. And when you have scale, obviously that is much easier for us to understand the full spectrum of where to target audiences programmatically.